Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Breakfast with the Buccateers here. A little bit of morning time action. Probably our earliest live show ever to this point. We got good vibes today. Not sure if any other of the Buccateers are going to be joining us. Matt, our man Stunna, said he will be joining us eventually today. We got the homie Tyler Sharp, one of the finest game used collections there is, joining us early this morning. But yes, one of the finest game used collections there is, Tyler Sharp. Thanks for joining the Buccateers so early for our historic matchup in Munich, Germany. We're the first ever to do it out there. Of course, they want to put Tom Brady out there. Why wouldn't they want to put Tom Brady out there to tote their brand a little bit of the NFL? So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into how Leonard Fournette almost missed today's game with the passport issue here, as Loose Cannon's Leprechaun joins us this morning. Good morning, motherfucker. This man is fired up. He's already tweeted pictures of cannons and tagging his buddies, our buddies, the Loose Cannon. So I'm not afraid to mention other podcasts on the show. Good morning, gentlemen. We got two good ones joining us, Tyler and Loose Cannon's Lep. We got the inactives list. We got the Leonard Fournette passport story on why he almost missed today's game. We got Tom Brady, and we got so much more going on. Whoa, got to get this porn stuff out of the chat. You know how that happens. Sometimes there's people who come in and try and ruin this stuff. So hopefully this person who's chatting can't get back in anymore. But nonetheless, you're tuned into the Buccateers. We're going to roll the intro, and then we'll get rolling with you guys here with Breakfast with the Buccateers. We hope to be joined by some Buccateers, but if not, that's okay too. And then on the upcoming shows, we're going to have Chris Mathis from WDAE join us in the coming weeks on one of these shows. We're going to have Florida International assistant quality control coach Anthony Gator, former Buccaneer, join us in the coming weeks on one of these shows as well. So we got some great guests lined up for you down the road, but let's focus on today like the Bucs need to do in a must-win game here today in Germany against Pete the Cheat Carroll and company. We're going to roll the intro and we'll be right back. You don't go anywhere, damn it. Get your coffee ready, get your popcorn ready if you like that thing. I don't know. Nonetheless, we're here for the Buccateers early. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitter. Don't go anywhere, but we'll be right back after the intro. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity, that place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Welcome back to the Buccateers, ladies and gentlemen. Tampa Tones here. We got JC Allen in the house. Gluten Tag. Well, I've heard of Guten Tag and I've heard of gluten. Maybe that means give me the pizza. What up, JC, our buddy, the best in the business from Pewter Report, right there, ladies. And he's tremendous. Be on the lookout for his great work early this morning and all throughout the week on the Bucs Seahawks Munich, Germany game as they go to showcase Tom Brady there. No one can tell me this isn't a Brady showcase, because I remember the Chiefs were rumored to play in Germany if it weren't for the Bucs. So obviously They want to showcase the best. It would have been Mahomes if it weren't for Brady. So once they figured out they got Brady back, once they figured out they got Brady in the fold, they're like, yeah, we're good, Mahomes. We don't need you. We'll throw a Seahawks team that isn't expected to do much out there with Geno Smith or Drew Lock at the helm, because those two dudes, shout out to my godmother tuned in right now. Auntie Angela, love you. Thanks for watching. Tyler says, hung over and ready for some football. LFG. I'm ready, man. I'm not hungover, but I am ready. I had a Friendsgiving last night, so I did have a couple drinks, couple things, a lot of food. So I'm feeling that food baby today. Such good food. Turkey, primed rib, tamales, all that good menu. No German food though, so that was a little disappointing, but what can you do? Maybe that's a good thing in disguise. So we'll see. But nonetheless, you guys are tuned into the Buccateers. We got a good crew this morning so far. Loose Cannons Leprechaun, JC Allen, Tyler Sharp joining the fun. And Gluten Tog has to be my favorite one yet. As we get going here, we're live on YouTube, Buccateers Podcast YouTube. We're live on Twitter at Buccateers on Twitter as we do that now. And then we are also live on Facebook, either through my Facebook or Buck's. And Bucko the Bruce is joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a round of applause for that. We'll play some pump up music for our buddy joining us. Bucko the Bruce is on the way. He probably had to wake up, get some breakfast going for the kiddos. He's like a dad. He's like Philip Rivers. He's got 8 to 10 kids over there to feed. So my man's joining us. It's taking a little longer, but Bucko's on the way. Music to celebrate that. No, but let's get into the game here. Got a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. Loose Cannon says, JC, what up, homie? Casey left you behind. Wow. JC Allen, maybe other Pewter Report members are there. Well, JC Allen has a lot of battles and fight and work to do in Tampa, so they probably can afford to lose JC for a little bit. But here we are, Leonard Fournette passport story. We're about to get into that, but I want to get into this tweet here by Greg Allman first. Greg Allman tweeted this out just 14 minutes ago. So in about 5 minutes from now, Bucks inactives will be out. We know Russell Gage, Luke Odecki, J.J. Russell are out, so we start there. Kyle Trask will 99% be inactive, and then either Bray or Rudolph will be inactive as well. Perhaps a D lineman, likely a DB with Winfield healthy again. So that's what Greg Allman had to say. In about 4 minutes, the Bucks inactives should be out, and we'll see how strong we look, or we'll see how dwindled we look based off our inactives list. A lot of fun stuff going on right now, though. Rick Stroud just tweeted out not too long ago, because these games overseas or even in Mexico, every jersey, well, not every jersey, but there's going to be so many different jerseys filling the stands. These aren't going to all be Bucks fans. They're not going to all be Seahawks fans. They're going to be football fans. Football fans or Football de Norte Americano fans, not sure that, but nonetheless, these guys are going to be football fans. And Rick Stroud has already spotted out Alvin Kamara jerseys in the fans today, which makes sense because, as we know, the game is in Germany. So you're going to be getting your Saints fans. You're going to be getting your 49ers fans. You're going to be getting all these fans from all around the world. All eyes on Tom Brady and all eyes on Geno Smith at this point in time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Melody Waters for joining us this morning on Facebook as well. That's truly awesome. But Geno Smith right now in the running for MVP. But let me tell you an award that I think would mold him better. The criteria, obviously, some might say, we like a certain type to win that for comeback player of the year. I know he technically hasn't came back from an excruciating injury or a crazy off the field dilemma, but this guy has been labeled damaged goods by both inept New York franchises. By the way, the Jets and Giants are doing good this year, so I'll give them their props. But we've known for the past decade or two that these two teams aren't the teams to dictate football decisions, or at least to dictate the status of football players, because they've been terrible. They're underachieving every year, the Giants and Jets. So you get a kid like Geno Smith, you get him into the New York Jets, and he plays okay at first. I mean, this kid was tremendous at West Virginia in college, and then gets to the Jets, and then a couple things happen, and then he's there for the Bulls era a little bit. He gets benched. Boom, they move on from Geno. So what does Geno do? He stays in the same stadium, stays in the same city, but he bolts off to the Giants. And what is Geno foreknowing in the Giants or on the Giants? When he notoriously took over for Eli Manning. Now think about that. Your two first NFL opportunities are with the New York Jets, who are terrible. Well, this year they're overachieving because they got good coaching like Robert Saleh. But for the most part, an inept franchise in the past decade or two. You don't have a high survival rate with the Jets. So, you know, you got to give him a mulligan there. Then he goes to the Giants, and he's known for the one to end Eli Manning's streak. Well, obviously, you're going to have the naysayers and the haters out for you when that's a situation, because Eli was a legend, Giants legend, and great quarterback. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Geno Smith necessarily should have been the one to break that streak at the time. But those are just examples of the two situations that Geno was thrown into to begin his career. So now here we are, he's in Seattle, and you still got your people doubting at him, and he might still end up not that great. He was a career backup pretty much to this point. So there is two tales to be told, and perhaps two tales to be written. But right now, at this given point in time, given his background premise, I would put Geno not up for MVP, because to me, he's not going to do the numbers like a Lamar or like a Mahomes or like a Josh Allen, because it is half a popularity contest as well. And it's pretty much a quarterback contest. I mean, other people could try naming other positions for MVP, but it's pretty much a quarterback's award at this point. But Geno Smith does have comeback player of the year type numbers, not MVP type numbers. I'm not going to toot his horn that much, but he has 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2,199 yards, playing some good football right now. So to me, that puts him in line. I don't get how this is an insult either for comeback player of the year, because he didn't do that great the past decade or so, and now he's made a name for himself again. As we got Bucko the Bruce joining us here. We'll see if we have him in yet. Bucko, how are you, man?
Oh man, this is rough this morning. Staying up. I'm an old man. I can't stay up drinking, watching these fights till 1 a.m. no more. I can't do it. Good morning, sir.
At least we got you here, brother. I'm honored to have you back on. It's been a while. Just happy to have you here, brother.
Same. Good to be with you, buddy. I mean, I feel like it's my fault the season's gone this way because I ain't come on the pod yet this season, and I apologize to Bucks Nation and Buccateers Nation for that misstep.
Hey, we're forgiven here. That's what matters. So you're forgotten already, brother. As we get Heidi's comment now, best of luck, Buccaneers. Let's show Germany what we are made of. Greatness. Go Buccaneers. Bucko, I want to get your thoughts on this. I know it's early, but your picture, the Lenny F picture, a lot of people are mad with Lenny F right now, or disappointed with him. Did you see the story this morning about how Lenny F almost missed today's game because of a passport issue that didn't come into the last minute?
No, sir. I haven't pulled up Twitter or anything yet this morning. I threw some water on my face, brushed my teeth, and came in here to you. So that's terrible to hear. That shows people ain't getting their ducks in a row. They ain't paying attention, and that kind of shows on the football field, don't it?
And that's what I was going to say. That kind of just goes to show maybe the unpreparedness, the mental preparation there on Leonard Fournette's behalf. I mean, how long has this game been on the schedule for now? You know what I'm saying? It's not like it comes up last minute and it's like, oh, hey, let me go get my passport. No, this is one of those things you know about for a while now. So
Yeah.
yeah, any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, just hearing about it is just it's just par for the course. But I mean, these guys all got handlers, out the ass. Somebody should have caught this, if not Lenny himself. But you know, it's it's neither here nor there because he made the flight, he made the game. So let's hope he can actually play well today.
Yeah, it all worked out. Let's hope he could play well. Indeed, Donnie says Bucks take over here in South Korea. One man game. We got South Korea in the building. Donnie
Yeah.
is out in South Korea. That's pretty cool. I know we got our Canada viewers pretty regularly. Now we're touching South Korea. So Donnie,
International.
yeah, I mean, I guess they need something to watch out there. Our friends need some sort of Bucks coverage out there. Passport Lenny.
Passport Lenny. Oh man. That's
uh, Buck
amazing.
Bucko inactives list. Anything here surprise you? This means Cam Bray is playing because I don't see his name here. You got Kyle Trask, Kyle Rudolph, Russell Gage, Nolan Turner, J.J. Russell, Luke Odeki, and a guy I like a lot who's been playing good this year, but it makes sense because we got Akeem Hicks back. Deadrian Sanat is inactive as well. Anything jump out at you on that list?
No, I mean Russell Gage. I don't know what's going on with his soft tissues, but we have not gotten 1 cent worth of that $10 million out of him yet, and I had high hopes for that guy, but sounds like that's only really backups and special teamers that are missing. So special teams better step up today.
Yeah, we need Keith Armstrong to have those guys ready to roll today. We'll get into predictions here in a bit. I see Donnie submitted his prediction already, but special teams, I mean, we need them ready to roll today, and I think we've done a better job at that this year with the likes of Suck Up Camarda and Darden playing decent. What say you on the special teams front so far? I know we keep getting knocked in that category a little bit, but to me, the three most important ones outside the long snapper have played pretty good, at least to this point.
Yeah, I mean we've given up a couple big returns. But Camarda's getting better at actually getting touchbacks, and kicking the ball off like you're supposed to. But honestly, it's not been as bad as anticipated. The kickoff return is non-existent for us. I like Rashard White, but he looks like he runs a 540 when he's running kicks. I don't know why he looks so slow, but hopefully that aspect of the game is only coming down to kickoffs. I mean, field goals. Hopefully the return game doesn't bite us. We do not need to give these guys any short fields. Their offense is actually humming where ours is not.
Yeah, if you give this offense short fields, I mean, coming into the year, you would have said, "Oh, that's fine, whatever." But now it's like they have such a high-powered offense right now, I feel like, or at least they have the weapons to be a high-powered offense. You got to worry about DK Metcalf. You got to worry about Tyler Lockett. You got to worry about the emergence of Noah Fant the past couple weeks. He was a big one that they brought in this offseason in that Russell Wilson trade. And then you got Kenneth Walker, Geno Smith. And then, by the way, their O-line is playing pretty decent as well. So you don't have a lot of room for error against this Seahawks team that at one point in time we were looking at on the schedule perhaps as one of the more easy games to be played.
I mean, when I was looking at this game, when the schedule came out, I said, okay, cool. Guaranteed win right before the bye. That's awesome. Seattle sucks. I mean, this whole football season has been a gambler's nightmare. No one looked at the season and saying, man, Daniel Jones is going to be 6-2. The Eagles undefeated. Seattle 6-3 leading the division. Like, what in the world is going on, man? Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and Tom Brady all under 500. Nothing is making sense at all.
The Broncos looking terrible.
Yeah.
The Colts going all in, and then whatever they're doing right now with their coaches and quarterbacks.
I feel bad. I feel bad for old Joe over there.
Yeah, it's one of those years for Colts fans, and I tried to explain to him, I mean, Bucks fans never been through anything that unprecedented, but we've been through some bad times, 2-14s, 4-12s aplenty. So I was telling him, although you're not used to it, this is life for other NFL franchises.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the misery. You
You
know.
know, between the Bucks and the Bears and teams like the Browns, you get this stuff all the time.
Yeah. You know, I full well anticipated being back closer to the bottom after Brady, but being, 4-5 with Brady, it's disheartening, And I know a lot of Bucks fans are. You can see it on Twitter. People are turning on each other on who to blame for it and arguing over nonsense. But the truth is, I mean, the talent's there, the execution is not. Um, there's no reason why we can't, put it together this Sunday.
And that's the thing. I love everything you just said. Bucks Twitter. We haven't seen this type of Bucks Twitter since. I mean, when the Bucks won the Super Bowl, until the point that we actually won the Super Bowl, you still had your loudmouths on Twitter. But then it got quiet. We won the Super Bowl. No one really said shit till we lost last year's game again. And then I think that sparked people's fuel to, enter this season thinking they could, turn on each other. Some people are Todd Bowles guys. Some people aren't Todd Bowles guys. Some people love Leftwich. Some people hate Leftwich. Some people are Brady truthers. He could do no wrong. Some people are putting way too much blame on Brady. Some people are blaming Jason Light even out there. I mean, it's crazy out there right now. But I do agree with you on this, Bucko. I've heard young Buck fans, nothing against him, great guys, nice guys and gals, got to meet these people because they're the future of our fan base, for better or for worse, sadly. But some of these people on Twitter were out there saying like, "Oh my God, it's been much worse before, yada yada yada, this and that." When it was 3-5, but I agree. When you have Tom Brady, it makes the season much worse when you're underachieving. But now, hopefully, if we win today, I think you could raise the question that the Bucks officially have turned the corner if we win today heading into the bye week.
Yeah, a win a day in the bye week is huge. Essentially, give yourself a game and a half lead. And after watching how Mariota played the other day, you were famous Jameis rolling on his ass trying to throw the ball. That was lovely to see. The Carolina did us a favor. We need to go ahead and take advantage. It's been a terrible first half of the season, but all we got to do is get this thing rolling, win 5 of the next 8. That's not even asking a lot for this team, but you win 5 of the next 8, you win the division, you're at your top 4 seed in the playoffs, and then you're playing the likes of Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott and Geno Smith. I mean, this list of teams that are up there in the rankings in the NFC, you're not worried about beating any of them come January. So we just got to get ourselves right internally and make it happen.
That's why I think it's funny that everyone's like, "Oh, you're not worried about this Bucks team right now," but you could easily flip that script. And as you said, come January, you're playing with, I mean, some quarterbacks that are playing well. Don't get me wrong, we just alluded to that, but some guys that haven't really proven themselves in the playoffs yet. Particularly the Geno Smiths of the world, or as you alluded to, even the Dak Prescotts of the world,
Yeah.
who last year really looked inept in the playoffs and
Yeah.
really potentially cost his team a big game in the playoffs with a time penalty maneuver. So these quarterbacks are inexperienced, and Prescott's shown that before in the playoffs single-handedly. If the Bucks squeak in there and get a home game, give me the Bucks at home over either Seattle or Dallas in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, even with as well as Philly is playing right now. Remember, we played them last year twice and utterly dominated. I think we were at what 31-0 on them
Mm-hmm.
at one point before we let them get a couple garbage touchdowns. I mean, the way our defense is set up with team speed and to the edges, we're kind of tailor made to play that style of offense. So, you know, even with their playing as good as they are, I still would think that we can compete with the undefeated Eagles. So, again, it's not conceitedness. It's not blind, loyalty for Brady. It's the fact that we do have the talent on this team. No one is playing up to what they're supposed to be. Not Mike Evans. Need to call out Mike Evans. His last 2 weeks, he sucked. And that's my
Mm-hmm.
favorite player on this damn team, and he's one of the best players we've ever had, one of the best humans we've ever had. So it feels bad and wrong to say what I'm about to say, but Mike Evans, you sucked ass the last 2 weeks. Well, I think he's got, 8 drops in the last 3 games?
Mm-hmm.
That's un-Mike Evans-like. I need him to get his proverbial head out of, where it's at I need Chris Godwin to start trusting that leg and play like Chris Godwin. And damn it, give me somebody to step up as a third wide receiver. The only guy that's really stepped up and improved his game during this stretch has been Cade Otton. That rookie has looked great these last couple of weeks, and I hope that continues. But the guys got to get it together, man. They really do.
And we got Anthony Rea joining the show, a good buddy. Thanks for joining us on Facebook this morning. And Pops texting the show as well. Pops watching right now. He says Scotty Miller, he can see having 4 catches and a long touchdown potentially today as well. Bucko, what say you on potentially using Scotty Miller today? I know we used him heavily late last week. He had that big drop and everyone was crushed from it, and it was a crushing drop. I'm not letting it slip by him. He's got to catch that. 100 times out of 100, you got to catch that. But Brady trusted him enough to go back to the well a couple times on that last drive. Like you mentioned, the emergence of Cade Otton, that kid's been fantastic and great. He had those 2 big catches on the last drive last week, and then those were kind of sandwiched in by 2 smaller, although still important catches by Scotty Miller on that last drive.
Absolutely. No, I mean, Scotty's a factor. We all had our questions of what happened to Scotty Miller ever since that 2020 NFC Championship game. It's almost like he stopped playing, stopped being hungry or something. And it was good to see him get back in the fold. It was good to see him get utilized because he can wiggle and get free in the defense, especially a team like Seattle was going to play a majority of cover 3, cover 2. They're going to play a lot of zone. A shifty guy like Scotty to find the soft spot in the zone is a valuable weapon to have. The issue is going to be protection. Seattle's pass rush has been getting home, man. They've been getting home, and they've been getting home exotically. So we're going to have to get creative with our route combinations and get the ball out of Brady's hand, which is something, as you know, Byron Leftwich is not really known for. So we'll see what goes on, man. I'm interested to see this matchup.
I'm very interested, and usually when I'm looking at the Seattle defense, I have a buddy who grew up a couple blocks down the road. They come from a football family. They're the Radigans. The oldest brother went to Penn State to play linebacker. The middle brother played running back at Princeton. The younger brother played linebacker at Army, and now he's actually on the Seahawks. John Radigan. He is out today, so that is terrible. I'd like to see him play today, but when I'm looking around at their defense, other positions, you mentioned pass rush. Quentin Jefferson has been a big part of their pass rush. They got Big L Woods, the veteran, clogging stuff up the middle. They got Poona Ford, Mile Adams. Then this is where their bread and butter is kind of made. Their little linebacker clip right here. You got Jordan Brooks, who's been playing tremendous football. Then Uchenna Nwosu has been playing some really good football as well. You look to their defensive backs, they got a couple rookies who are playing incredible between Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen, because again, you got the man back there, Jamal Adams, on the IR. So you got some key pieces for this defense on the IR, and Adams, Radigan, and so forth. But these young pups, these rookies, stepping up, making plays, earning this defense their stripes, and right now has them to a projected, now I'm saying projected because it's still very early, but a projected championship in the NFC West.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see it because, I mean, the way the Niners play defense, the way the Rams, were offensively for the past 3 years, to the fact that the Rams look worse than we do right now. And Seattle's taking advantage of it. And they're out here, they're winning football games, and they're competing in every game. At first, I thought it was just a fluke, man, but Gino's still the top-rated passer in the league right now, right?
Yep, he is.
Oh, it's nuts. But, again, all these things can happen. We've seen guys go on these miraculous runs like Taylor Heineke did with the Redskins or Commanders, Commodores, whatever you want to call them. Took them into the playoffs and gave us a hell of a football game. So I'm still leaning on this as a short-lived run that they're on, and hopefully we can expose this and beat this football team like we should. But again, it's hard to have any faith in our coaching staff having a solid game plan because we've only seen it once, and that was in week 1. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we'd have a good coach and plan or a good game plan coming in with the coach and staff completely, where we just play the Bucks ball we know and love. And shout out to my nanny as she's tuned in on Facebook this morning. We got a lot of good people joining us for breakfast with the Buccateers on Facebook. We got great people in the chat right now. We got texts coming in right now, so it's all good right now for breakfast with the Buccateers. But I agree, Bucko. Besides game one, where we had an immaculate game plan, it seemed, we haven't really shown that those coaching capabilities since. I mean, week two we had a decent one, but the Saints had their opportunities that game. You know what I'm saying? They had a self fumble on a deep ball, and they had some Jameis turnovers. You mentioned Mariota looking like Jameis earlier. Well, Jameis looked like Jameis in that Bucs Saints game. So, it would be great to see a game plan where we come out again offensively and we're just clicking defensively. We're taking over. So we'll see. And here's one silver line. And when you do look at the remainder of the Bucks schedule now, um, 8 games left. When we look back at Bucks fans and Buccateers predictions at one point in time this season, we were like, oh, the Bucks have the Steelers coming up, the Falcons coming up, the Panthers coming up. Those are games where they're going to get back on track against those quarterbacks. Kind of didn't really happen there. But here you look. Today you have Geno Smith. He's playing hot. But in the upcoming games, you have Jacoby Brissett and then Andy Dalton. These are 3 games we play right now. Although Geno is playing good football, you have Geno Smith, Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, all in a row. Then you have Jimmy G and Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray. But then you end the year again with PJ Walker and Marcus Mariota. So to me, Bucko, we could build stronger with defense. Although I thought this before, but just based on the level of quarterback competition we have on the remainder of the schedule outside of Burrow, and I guess for our sakes, you could throw Jimmy Garoppolo in there just because he's probably the second most established one.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers defense was going to give us fits, and their ability to creatively run the ball, those traps and counters and things of that nature, those are what seemed to slow this defense up in the run game. Typically, when you run straight at us, we stopped that quite well. It didn't work against Carolina for some weird reason. That 21-3 against Carolina, that's the one game that's going to continue to stick out to me as to what the hell is going on. Something deeper than just football. But I do feel like it can be created. It can be fixed, man. We can really go on a run. We win 6 of these last 8, finish this thing 10-7, and no one's none the wiser. Because I looked at this schedule when we looked at it talking preseason. I had 11-6 as our schedule. So if you're telling me we can play this badly at being 3-5 at one point and still end up one game shy of what I expected to be, I'll take the hell out of that, Tones. I'll take it.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I think I had maybe 12-5, so one game north of 11-6, but I was right there with you predicting double-digit wins and kind of an easy path to the playoffs. And then you step back, you look at it, we were 3-5 just this time last week, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, at this point, I don't know if the playoffs are hopeful, but then the Bucks turn the corner. Well, not turn the corner completely, but they end up beating the Rams. But in terms of the winning column, because they were 0-3 before that, so they beat the Rams, and you get a little faith back. And then today matchup looks you in the eyes is so pivotal, especially after, and this sounds pathetic to say, especially after Atlanta Falcons gave you the gift of losing on Thursday Night Football last week. You have the utmost advantage here to go out there today, get a win, distance yourself in the division heading into the bye week a little bit, as you alluded to. It'd be a game, but we have the head-to-head win, so a 1.5 lead. A lot of Bucs fans might start talking a little differently again. And then if you look at it like that too, Bucko, all of a sudden the Bucs have wins against the Cowboys and Seahawks this year, along with wins against teams they usually struggle with, like the Rams and Saints. The season doesn't seem like too big of a failure at that point.
Dude, and that's the part I'm struggling with the most. Well, we're Tom Brady's worst record to start his career for a season in his illustrious 23-year career. But we beat the Rams and the Saints, which we haven't done in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So makes no sense to me. We can't beat nobody else, but we're beating the teams that have owned us. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. We could have been beating these bad teams and still having problems with the Saints and Rams and looking up at them, or we can be down here kind of in the muck with everybody and figure it out. And luckily, our division sucks enough where we can take these lumps and figure it out and get it back right, and making these guys get hungry. 'Cause I really, when I'm looking at this team, especially defensively, Devin White, Vita Vea, those guys, they haven't been hungry since the Super Bowl. But you're seeing them start to turn it on. You see Devin White, and it'd be remiss if I didn't say rest in peace to his father, Carlos. Dead at 45. That's way too young for a man to be dead, and for a guy to lose his father. So, shouts to the White family. Prayers up to them. Hopefully, he can play with a clear head and play hard for his father today.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is just so surreal in not a great way. And sadly for Devin as well, they're obviously in Germany, so it makes it that much more difficult for Devin to reach out perhaps or anything. But we got your back, D White. We know how, tough that is to go through, as Bucko said, losing a father at the age of 45 years old. So it looked like it was one of Devin's best friends, if not his best friend, Devin White. I'm looking for the statement that D White himself put out on social media. It was a very moving and touching statement that he put out there. Here it is, right? Or there, I'll find it. I'll find the picture, but here we are. Devin White said this. About Carlos's father. He said, "Daddy, you did it again. I'm selfish because I love you so much. I can't even feel anything right now. I probably never will. All the stuff we did, all the talks, the hard times and the good times, I won't ever forget. We had so much more to accomplish. You gave me the strength. You gave me the motivation to keep attacking. You believed I was best, and I strived off that, making my parents proud and enjoying life. If I can't enjoy it with you, I never imagined you not being here. This can't be real, nor can it be life I deserve. My eyes are heavy. My heart is broken. I just want my dad, my real life twin. I promise I will finish the job. You know what it is. I love you with everything in me. I just ran out of time." Bucko, that's heartfelt, and it makes you. I already love Devin White, but it makes you want to be there for the guy and just give him a big old hug in Germany today. And I feel like he's really going to play with some heavy hearts and heavy emotions out there today.
Yeah, and then the whole team's gonna rally up and hold them down like that big game Quan Alexander had, a few years back with the loss of his brother the day before the game. The whole team kind of carried him and helped him through it, and we got a big win that day. And he played great, and that's the beauty about sports. That's the beauty about the family that you create in these locker rooms. You have the family you're born with and the family you choose, and these guys are going to come together and rally behind a teammate when he's hurting. So I don't doubt he's going to be in the right mindset to play, and I don't doubt this team's going to help him stay in that mindset. But you still, you feel it in your heart for somebody losing their father like that. And like you said, my real life twin, they look identical. I mean, it's crazy. Feel bad for the guy.
So young too, and like you said, Bucks have dealt with this in prior years, and it's been a rough year this year as Cade Otton lost his mom at a young age about a month or so ago, and then Devin White loses his dad at such a young age this one. So our prayers are up to him, both of them, and they continue to play great football for the team we love, and they're going to play for their parents. You know that. They're going to ball out, and as you said, the Bucks are going to rally around Devin White today, make him feel the love and compassion that he felt from his father and that his family gives him. As you said, this is a family. You get two families, your sports family and the family you're stuck with, the family that, God lays out for you. You get the dice rolled and all that good stuff. So this is Devin White's football family, and they'll have his back completely. And I think that there aren't many better locker rooms to deal with this type of situation, with them being in one with the guys like Mike Evans, Tom Brady, Akeem Hicks, and all those good veterans.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing about being old. That means you got a lot of veterans and you got a lot of leadership. And having Antoine Winfield back is huge.
Mhm.
I really like the way that Carlton Davis gets up for these bigger hype receivers like a DK Metcalf. I expect Carlton Davis to have a good game covering DK. I expect Jamel Dean to be fast enough to handle Tyler Lockett. I really like what we match up against the teams. Letting Kenneth Walker get off or not is going to be the key to look at. So that little young rookie's running tough. If we can keep the running game down, I like what we have to match up against these guys today.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker is maybe on pace between him and Damian Pierce for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's been running really well. He's been playing great football, and that's a guy the Bucks have to watch greatly, as you never know with him. He could break one at any given time. He showed that capability at Michigan State just a year ago, and now he's doing a good job of carrying it over to the pros as well. So as we're here for about 11 more minutes or so, roughly, Bucko, we got a text to go over, then we got score predictions, and then one big thing for Germany as we bounce out of here. It's Breakfast with the Buccateers here on YouTube Live. You guys are joining us on YouTube. It is through the Buccateers podcast YouTube, so we appreciate that. We're live on 2 outlets in Facebook right now. Tampa Tones Facebook and Bucks Life News Facebook. So you could be joining us via one of those, like on Tampa Tones Facebook. We got the Godfather, James Rubright, in the house. How you doing, my man? Much love. We love you. Thanks for joining. And we also got good friend of the show's David Ferrara joining. And then you could be watching on Bucks Life Facebook as well, or on Twitter. So we got a number of outlets you guys can join us on. You can reach out to us on Twitter or a live comment on one of the outlets we just mentioned, or you can text the show as Pops enjoys doing. We got another text from Pops that we'll dissect here right now. Pop says, not many folks talking Bucks defense, a lot of Brady talk, a lot of Seattle defense talk, but with our defense getting healthier by the week, as Bucko alluded to, Antoine Winfield back this week, as I alluded to, Akeem Hicks back this week, for them to bring Geno Smith back to earth today and show the backup that he is with 2 interceptions. Bucko, I know we talked about Geno. I know we talked about guys like Hicks and Winfield coming back. And by the way, Hicks coming back last week. Oof, Vita and Devin played a lot better with that man back in the middle last week. But what say you on this Bucks defense getting healthier? Only key cog we're kind of missing right now, other than Shaq Barrett, because he's lost for the year. So we're never getting him back this season. But for of guys who we could get back, Logan Ryan's really the only key cog missing. What do you think on today's defensive efforts against Geno Smith? Do you think this Bucks defense that's getting healthier by the week with Hicks and Winfield returns are poised to stop him in his tracks today, or do you think Geno Smith continues his type of comeback player of the year season to this point?
Let's just say we got a better shot than we did without him. I mean, Ryan Smith. Excuse me. Antoine. Well, I said Ryan Smith. Even though we did bring Ryan Smith back, didn't we? Didn't I see that?
Yeah, and Ryan Smith, speaking of quick, he's up today as well. So Ryan Smith, former Bucks Super Bowl champion, did get elevated for today's game to the active roster.
Right. But that being said, no, the under tackle for this defense is very important. Stu played a great role. He wasn't much of a pass rusher anymore. He's lost a step in that regard. But when it came to you trying to run the ball to the right side, Stu shut that down. It's something that I love, Nacho, and I like the way Deidre Sonata's played this year. But not having that all-pro level guy there has really allowed you to tee off on us in the run. And you did not see that last week. So, obviously Akeem Hicks being back there speaks for itself. But the fact that we have Antoine Winfield back, and because Keanu Neal is not a true safety, man. He is nowhere near a safety and should not be a starting safety. And the fact that our injuries put us in a position where he was playing free safety for us and making some very, very poor decisions in coverage. The fact that we can now free him up to be that robber, big nickel linebacker type player and really helping these run fits, that's going to help us out tremendously by having an actual safety back there with Edwards and Winfield and not Keanu Neal. So, yeah, Logan Ryan, when he comes back, will really be the depth that we want in our secondary. But for right now, I will take it with just Winfield and Edwards.
And I agree with you completely. I love our secondary back, or our secondary help, especially with Logan Ryan back there, and you got Edwards, Winfield, and Ryan, and then Keanu Neal, as you said, not really a safety, more of a robber type, and more of that, hybrid linebacker type who could get after the quarterback a little bit, or who could cause fumble or get a big stick. But he's really not a coverage guy. If you watch him in coverage, he makes some poor decisions and gets beat a little bit or whatnot. But when he's your fourth safety, that sounds a lot better than when he's a roto safety, et cetera, or whatnot. And I think Logan Ryan coming back would be huge, but I think Akeem Hicks and Winfield will really help this Bucs defense today and help try and stop Geno Smith to make him look like the Geno Smith of old. We got Donnie saying 24-17. Bucs win today. In a couple minutes, we're going to give our Bucs score predictions, but I did just see, Greg Allman tweet something cool on Twitter. And by the way, we did get a message on Twitter from John. John says, is Cam Brate playing today? Yes, he is, John. Cam Brate is active today. How much he's going to play today, we're not sure, but he is active today. Kyle Rudolph is inactive today. So the tight end room will look how it did to begin the year with Keefe, the rookie from Minnesota, Cade Otton, the rookie from Washington, and Cam Brate, the heralded veteran from Harvard. What say you on the return of Cam Brate real quick, Bucko?
I mean, it's just another trusted receiver, a guy that can get to his mark and has a chemistry with Brady. Because as we know, Brady's a timing throw to a spot quarterback, and we've seen the spot not being right and the timing not being right. So just having that reliable target, as long as Cam's healthy, I don't want him to risk any further brain injury, because it seems like every time he gets hurt now, I'm holding my breath because he's had 2 concussions pretty quick, and that last one's pretty scary. So if he's ready to play and he's not hindered in that regard, then let's go, buddy. But hopefully he's there just to provide some stability on third down passing.
I know I'd be careful with him, as you alluded to, when you get a couple of those neck injuries and they pile up a little bit, and those concussions and they pile up a little bit. You want to be extra cautious with these guys. The last thing you want to do is rush them back, and then they get one of those Tua type injuries where it's just hard to watch for any sorts of football fan. It makes you cringe a little bit.
Yeah, I do not want my tight end throwing up gang signs. Sorry, I don't.
No, not like that. Was just painful, man. And we got Jason Roach joining us on Facebook Live as well. Thanks, Jason, for tuning in this evening. Good buddy of mine. I got a cool tweet to bring up before we get to score predictions, MVP predictions, and one big thing as we walk out of here and, get a little thing done in our morning before the game, because we're the pregame to the pregame. We're breakfast with the Buccateers here, and it's been a really fun show, in my opinion, to this point. Bucko, Greg Allman tweeted out a picture. It's Tom Moore and Roger Goodell. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell had a quick word and handshake on the field with Bucs assistant Tom Moore, still going strong at 84. It was Tom Moore's 84th birthday this past week. Goodell with NFL since 1982, but Moore goes back to 1977. So Tom Moore, he's done it longer than Goodell. What say you on the presence of Tom Moore in the NFL and just the fact that the man's been able to do it this long? I've met Tom Moore twice now at the Arians Family Foundation golf outing back in April. He's just a hoot to be around. And then I met him in Indianapolis before Bucs Colts preseason in August. The man is just at the bar having a good time with a smile on my face. And he signed autograph. Not many recognized him, but he signed some autographs. So still cool at the age of 84. What say you on Tom Moore and the things he's able to do at the age he is?
Yeah, I mean, dude. You look all over the place. We got a president of the country that ain't that old, that's not as cognitive and as with it as Tom Moore. So just a shout out to him for just the longevity, man. That he's defying many odds. And I was really hoping he could help young Byron with better game plan, better play calling situations, because we all know Arians was going to, no risk and no biscuit, air it out. No matter how the offensive lines plays, we're going to have long developing routes. I was really hoping Tom Moore could help them with that intermediate passing game that they were so successful with in Indy. But at this point, the fact that he's still coaching at his age and doing a good job, in my opinion, it's worth noting. But happy birthday, old Tom Moore.
All right, Bucko, I agree. Happy birthday, Tom Moore. And you always see it, Vita Vea's posting social medias with him having a good time. And I agree, you know, Tom Moore came over, helped put in the passing game, et cetera, et cetera. Just good stuff there. Him and Bruce go way back, and they're two good football minds. And I'm honestly excited and honored that Tom Moore stuck around, even though Bruce is still around, quote unquote. But with Bruce taking a back seat, kind of, the fact that Tom Moore sticks around just does go to show how much Tom Moore loves the game. So we appreciate Tom Moore. We love you, Tom Moore. Let's hope we get a birthday win today for Tom Moore. We got 2 texts quick before we get one more segment in. Then we wrap up with score predictions and head out of here. Pop says I have 27 to $20, and then Pop says Bucko's presidential comment spot on there. I think a lot of people would agree. Tom Moore, 2024. Let's do it.
Yeah, might as well.
Why not at this point? But Bucko, I want to ask you before we get into score predictions and head out. This game obviously different today. We've had a couple of these before. In 2009, we played Tom Brady and the Patriots in London. We got absolutely spanked. Sammy Strouder was our leading receiver that day.
Sammy Strouder.
With like 60 receiving yards, you know, the dude from Oregon State. Nothing against him, but when he's your leading receiver, that's not a recipe for success. And then in 2012, we played the Bears in London. We lost a close one there. So we were 0-2. And then in 2019, we played this game early as heck. In 2019, we played at 8:30 a.m. as well. We lost to the Panthers, and that's a game where famous Jameis was a turnover machine, had his 5 interceptions, and the Bucs lost a shootout. So 0-3 to this point. But these games are fun. They're the early games, the breakfast games. Any special things you do to get yourself going for a game this early, or is there any special breakfast to be made? Are you boozing for this game? What's it like for you, since it'll be 9:30 Eastern time for kickoff? Anything different about this one, or anything fun?
Well, I mean, I was up late watching a hell of a UFC card last night.
Adesanya went down, not to cut you off, but
that was a big knockout. I mean, you can't teach one punch power. As technical as Izzy was the whole night, and one punch power will do it to anybody. But I'm making breakfast right now. I'm sure some of y'all heard all the beeping and stuff going around. I apologize for being unprofessional, but all the kids are awake now, and I got to feed them. But now we got just some bacon and eggs and some biscuits going on. Just a regular old normal breakfast. Get everything ready, get everything cleaned up for this Bucs game. I'm ready for it. Now, all those 0-3s, those are in London. All right, we're not playing in London today. We're over there with our leader hosing on, and we're going to strap it tight and get it rolling, man. We're going to win this game. This is not London.
And Bucko, I love it. At least all that noise, and it really wasn't too bad, to be honest. But at least it's for a great cause. You're making breakfast this morning, and that sounds delicious. And are the kids going to be watching the game? Are they into it, or you think they'll pass since it's so early?
Tyson's into it. He's already got his Brady shirt on. He's ready to roll. The girls couldn't give a crap either way. But we're going to make them try to enjoy it because it's going to be on while they're eating their breakfast. So they're going to have to watch it.
Hey, let's roll. And when I eventually, I'm lacking bad. I haven't even hit the giveaways like I wanted to. But when I send you those mini helmets, I'll make sure to include them for your kids as well. So, one day if they ever just want a prop, or if they want something to autograph at a game down the road or something like that, they have something. So tell Tyson and them that they got some mini helmets coming to their way shortly soon.
Cool, man. Much love. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, my bad. I'm being late on that, but better late than never. Speaking of late, already 8:42 Eastern. We're cutting into Bucko's breakfast time. I know we're cutting into my time. I got to prep a Bloody Mary here shortly. That's going to be my breakfast today. Breakfast with a Bloody. We'll see how that one goes, but maybe some other stuff as well. Bucko, score prediction, player of the game prediction. How do you got this one shaken out today? What do you see as the final? And it looks like Tom Brady just ran onto the field in Munich for the first time.
Nice. No, I mean, I see the guys in the chat actually have it very close to me. I have it at a 26-16. A very strange game with a lot of field goals that we're used to, but we're actually going to get some points scored this week. I got a 26-16, 10-point win for the Bucks.
And do you have Ryan Suckup as your player of the game then with all those field goals?
No, I have Antoine Winfield
Oh, yes,
as
sir.
my
That's
player
right.
of the game with 10 tackles and a turnover.
And I could see 26-16. These are, as you corrected me, German game, not London game, but these overseas games, anything could happen. Brady is undefeated in these overseas games as well. As we said, the NFL likes to showcase Brady over there a little bit. I'm going with kind of a similar score, a close score, a little different of a score. I think this game is a little bit more unique as well. I'm going with the 29-21 victory, 8-point win. I don't know how we get to 29, so don't ask. I just feel like we'll get there. 29-21 Bucks, 8-point victory. We get back on track a little bit, head into the bye week with the 5-5 record as Mike joins us from Canada this morning. Good morning. Bucks 28, Shithawks 12. Mike's been an advocate of shitting on Seattle and Geno Smith's parade here in the past couple weeks on the Buccateers. So we're great to see you keep up this morning from Mike in Canada. But I predict Tom Brady. I know it sounds cliche, but that's going to be my player of the game today. I think he continues to build on the efforts, the comeback he led last week. And I think he goes out there and absolutely guts the Seattle team today. Maybe not with points in totality, but just with dinks and dunks, with deep shots down the field when you least expect it, with precision and accurate passing. I think we get the Tom Brady that we've all known and loved today in our Bucks tenure, like we did on the last drive last week, especially for that Rams Bucks victory we had. But Bucko, we don't want to keep anyone any longer now. We're about 45 minutes till kickoff. We've been on for about an hour now, rocking and rolling. Any last words, thoughts, or one big thing is we head to battle in Germany? Or you good, brother? We might have lost Bucko, but that's okay as we're wrapping up here anyways. We'll see if
You
we
hear
can.
me?
Oh, yeah, I got you now, Bucko. What was it?
I think I had the mute on, man. That's my bad. No, I said just the game plan today is assignment football. Block the man in front of you, tackle the ball carrier, and for God's sakes, catch the damn ball. Execute, boys. We got this one.
Yeah, that's it. Execution is key. Bucko mentioned it earlier. He's a film guy as well. We both like film. Bucko watches it or likes it a little more than I do even. So we've been seeing this stuff break down a lot. Not even blocking the guy in front of you. Little X's and O's type stuff. Missed pass protection here. And Leonard Fournette, we all love you, but you got to do a little bit better than those chip block attempts you try every time. It worked on Micah Parsons week 1, but now those guys are looking for that, and they're kind of shimmying around you. We'll see if we could execute better. We know it's been play calling a little bit as well, but execution has been a bad thing. The drops have been killer. And Mike says it himself. Player of the game, Mike Evans, 8 receptions, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Mike have a big game. We'll see if
my fantasy team will thank you if that comes true. I need it.
Mine would as well. I'm in a must-win in the league. I have Evans in this week.
Yeah.
Any last words before we fly out of here, Bucko?
No, man. Let's go. Germany, Munich. Strap your lederhosen tight, boys. Let's get it going.
I love this comment that JC Allen put in here earlier, so we'll put it on. He said gluten tag. Still not sure if he meant guten tag, but our man put gluten tag. We love JC Allen.
I think he's talking about me and my gluten-filled breakfast.
Hey, it sounds delicious. I might head over to you right now. I'll be there in time for the afternoon games at least.
There you go. All right, Toad, it's good to vibe with you, man. Let's go Bucks, buddy.
Yeah, Bucko, we loved having you, man. Hopefully you could join us again soon, brother. Always a pleasure. Thanks again, and tell the kiddos good luck today and have fun.
Yes, sir. Let's roll.
Thanks, Bucko. That's the great Bucko the Bruce, ladies and gentlemen, as we're heading out of here in a couple minutes as well. But just fun times. I don't want them to end, man. I want to keep being with you guys as we count down to Germany. That was honestly awesome. Bucko is the OG co-host. He's the co-host that was the first of the 6 of us. Well, I was here, obviously, but then Bucko hopped aboard, and then we got Katz and Cody G, and then, well, Stunna as well. And then we got Huncho. So that made us the Buccateers what we are. Mike's still hanging with us. Cowboys 42, Pack Turds 0. Wow, we got a 42-0 prediction by Mike in Canada. Absolutely not a Packers guy. I know my man Mike was never a Packer guy, as he, went to Bucks Packers this year. He flew to Tampa to witness that. It was a sad loss, but cool experience nonetheless, Mike, that you were able to fly to Tampa. I see Jake Arians and the lovely Shelby Arians, his wife, are in Munich. For everyone, yeah, the Arians don't like the Bucks, yeah, or the Bucks don't like Arians. Well, you guys all look and sound pretty stupid after how this year's unfolded to this point, with Bruce and Jake having nothing but love for the Bucks. So, yeah, pretty good stuff there, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good stuff there as we continue our rockin' and rollin' roller coaster here today in Munich, Germany. And I'm amped. I'm ready to roll. We got about 40 minutes or 50 minutes. No, 40 minutes till kickoff now. So we're about to bounce out of here shortly. Let you ladies and gentlemen do what you got to do before we head out of here. And I'm just going to name a couple bets that I like today personally as my one big thing and walk off today before we head out of here as well. And man, I got robbed of an over last night. Don't you hate it when an over under falls 2 points short and they have that point total going into the fourth quarter? But that's neither here or there. Bucks minus 2.5. What I like there is, not necessarily Bucks at minus 2.5. I would bump that down to Bucks minus 1, and the odds are still pretty good. Like right now, Bucks at minus 2.5, you'd get the minus 10% because that's how you always do with that type of stuff. You give the points, or you take the points straight up, and it's 10.5 or 10%. So if I bet $100 on something in the book, I'd win $90 back, because that's just how it is. So if you bet the spread, you'd win your $90 back, but you're dropping the 2.5 points. If you take the Bucks minus 1, if you bump them to, so they still win in regulation, instead of losing all that money, you still win $72. But if you take their money line straight up, you'd win 67. So there you go. I'm taking Bucks bump to minus 1. Get that extra money in, but I don't like the 2.5 as much. You never know what could happen for those last 2 points there. When you're looking around at some prop bets, on the Bucs side of the ball, we're not even looking at Seattle side. Chris Godwin touchdown. I think it's time he scores today. Looking for his first touchdown this year. Chris Godwin at times 155 to me is a viable candidate to get into the end zone. So look out for that one there. Chris Godwin getting into the end zone. If you put $100 on that one, that would pay $155 if it paid off. So you're looking good there. A couple other prop bets you're looking at. Player passing, Tom Brady's yards over under 279.5. I would take the over there if I were to bet on that one. And then you got player passing and rushing. Geno Smith over 262.5 passing and rushing yards combined. I'd probably roll with the over there. And then we'll pick out one more prop bet before we close out of here and get going. Total kicking points by the player, Ryan Suckup over 7.5 points, which would be 2 field goals and 2 extra points to get him that over. I would say yes, let's roll with that. Ryan Suckup the over in points. And why not look at sacks for fun? If you want a fun sack prop bet that would pay decent money, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is ×2 in sacks. So if you bet $100 and JTS got a sack, you would win $200 on that one. Is Uncle Tony Carbon's in the building? How you doing? Thanks for joining us this morning. Loose Cannons Leprechaun says, keep racking. Thanks, LC Lep. We appreciate you joining. We love you, man. Love you, brother. One of my guys right there. Mike says 10 degrees in Munich, sunny. Holy crap. Cold stuff over there. We'll see if the goat can shake off those icicles. I don't gamble while getting married. Well, you know, you got a little more to worry about when you're a married man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been tremendous episode of the Buccateers. We've loved having each and every one of you participate with us this morning. It's been a lot of fun participation as well. We got the great JC Allen from Pewter Report. He joined us in the comments. That was a lot of fun. We got Loose Cannons Leprechaun who joined us. We got Mike from Canada who joined us. We got our man Steppen Peppin from South Korea who joined us. Bucko the Bruce joined us. Tyler Sharp joined us. Heidi joined us, and so many more great people on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That's where you can find us at Buccateers. You can find us on Instagram as well at Buccateers Pod. And Twitter is at Buccateers, YouTube's Buccateers Podcast. You can catch the instant replay available on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, and so much more at Buccateers. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Germany. 36 minutes until the big one. Bucs need to get the win, be 5-5 heading into the bye week with a 1.5-game lead on Atlanta, since we have the head-to-head win over Atlanta. That would be beautiful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful morning. It's been Tampa Tones and Bucko the Bruce co-piloting you through this beautiful Breakfast with the Buccateers special episode edition of the Buccateers podcast. This was your pregame to the pregame shows. Now go get them on NFL Network or WDAE or Tampa Rock Sports Radio. You got Pat and Ronnie Lane on the Rock station. And then you got Michael Clayton and T. Crass on WDAE. And then on NFL Network, you got those typical boneheads breaking it all down. Nonetheless, Tampa Tones out of here. Go Bucs, fire the damn cannons. It's a beautiful day in Tampa Bay, but it's a home game in Munich, Germany for the first time ever with the GOAT, Tom Brady, taking on Geno Smith and Pete the G. Carroll. It's been beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. You guys stay beautiful as well. You guys stay blessed as well. Mike says, "Lass uns gehen." Let's go in German. Let's go, Mike. This is why you're the man. Mike from Canada. He's a human translator. This guy's knowing like 30 languages over there. Mike's got it all right here in his mentals. Mike, you are the man. And that's why we're sending you a mini helmet as well. Nonetheless, Guten Tag, fire the damn cannons, Tommy Sleller, Gene Decker over here, go Bucs, up the middle, Mike Evans to the left to the 10, 25, 10, touchdown, Tampa Bay, fire the damn cannons, go Bucs, let's go get it in Germany. Gene Deckeroff will be on the call, and let's go, as Mike says in German, Lass uns gehen. It's been the Buccateers. Until next time, Tampa Tones. Thanks you for joining us along with Bucko the Bruce, Cody, Huncho, Stunna, and Cats out of the building today. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy Germany once in a lifetime, perhaps, especially with life after the go coming sooner than later. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lead Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.